Good morning. We're back at the old homestead this morning. A few weeks ago, went out and I purchased a cat. Gina told me I could get a cat since they get some barn cats. So this cat I am blaming on gridlessness. If you've never watched their channel, you should go check them out. Their gridlessness on YouTube. I'll have a link down below. We've been watching them for quite a while now, and I saw this machine and I was like, what is that? I need one of those. So I have been keeping my eyes out for a couple of years now for one, and we finally found one. We got it used. I'm gonna say we paid half price for it. Like, we could sell it for double what we paid for it right now. I was a little nervous when I bought it because I was like, man, we're buying this thing so cheap. What is wrong with it? But we got it from a dealer, brought it home. It's been sitting in the workshop now, and I'm pretty impressed with it. We had to put some new work boots on it, so I'll show you that, but let's get it out and see if you guys know what it is. So this is a Bobcat ToolCat. This is like a skid steer and a side-by-side. Had a little rendezvous, and this is what they made. It's four-wheel drive, should I say all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer. So the rear tires can turn. They don't always have to turn, but there's a mode so you can. So if you want to make a super sharp corner, or if you just want to have fun making donuts, you can make some pretty tight donuts. But I don't know. I saw this and I was like, man, we need to have one of these. So this is a 2015 Bobcat ToolCat that was traded in. And it's got 2,100 hours on it. A lot of these are used, at least up in our neck of the woods, for wintertime snow removal and sanding and plowing and stuff like that. One of the big reasons we wanted it for is for snow blowing around the homestead, so we can make paths to all of our animals. We can keep our solar panels cleaned out in front. It had a 60-inch wide snow blower that I could have got with it, but that's how wide the machine is. So to me, I was kind of thinking, if I'm going to be going around making paths and I get off track and I'm going to be getting stuck because I'm going to be making a path as wide as the machine. So believe it or not, when I was taking a ride up to check out the ToolCat, I had found a used Bobcat snowblower. But there's a little issue with that, and I'll show you that in a minute. But that one is a 72-inch wide snowblower, and that's why I got that one. So we'll have 6 inches on each side. Some of the features on it: it'll lift 1,500 pounds on the front. It is high flow. Right here we have hydraulic attachments, and this is regular flow and high flow. We got our Bobcat disconnects. These ones are hydraulic, so we can do these right from in the cab with a push of a button, so that's going to be nice. So all of the attachments that we have for our TYM tractors will fit right on this, because the TYM tractors have the Bobcat quick connect for their buckets and all the front implements. So I ended up putting on Nokian E-rated snow tires. I didn't go with the R4 tires. When I was checking this thing out, I'll put a picture in right here. The R4 tires that were on it from when it got traded in were completely bald. So I was talking with the salesman, and he recommended putting on truck tires. He said, I've had a bunch of guys that have done this, and in the wintertime you get a lot better traction and they're less money, and it looks badass. So this ToolCat has 15-inch rims on it, so we're able to just get, what were they? They are LT 295/75 R15 tires for this. I ended up getting tire chains. I haven't got those put on yet. When we get this up to the OGP, we'll get the tire chains put on, so we'll be able to keep all of our roads open with this. It's got a dump bed. That's a hydraulic dump bed. The dump bed will dump 2,000 pounds, which is kind of crazy. It's got a 2-inch receiver hitch, so we can put a tow hitch on there, and this thing will haul 4,000 pounds, which is pretty neat. It's got a lot of lights. I'm thinking about upgrading the lights a little bit. It's got heat, air conditioning. One of the big reasons we like this over a skid steer is it's a 2-seater. So me, Gina, or Gina, Olivia, me and Olivia want to go out. So we have 4 upper lights. They're not LED. I'd like to change these over to LED if they're not bright enough. We've got our wipers. They do make tracks for this machine like we have on our mule. The company that makes them for the mule is Camso. They don't make them for the ToolCat. So if you know of a company that makes them for the ToolCat, let me know. It'd be nice to get a pair for them sometimes, because I've seen people using these as groomers in grooming snow machine trails and ski trails and snowshoeing trails. So if we could get this out on the trail, that'd be kind of nice. So let's go inside and I will show you what the interior is like. So these are suicide doors. They remind me of some of the old antique cars. Pretty interesting. But these windows open. So you got a vent here, a vent here, and right here you can undo this little tab. I can't do it right now because it's kind of cold, but you can undo this orange tab and this window folds completely over, and it's held in place right by this plastic piece will hold it open. So if you want more airflow, you can fold that window all the way over. You got your key to turn it on. Gives you your glow plug countdown. I'm not going to start it yet because it's noisy. But right here we have our forward and reverse. And then we have our turn signals. This one has the road package. So it's got the turn signals, it's got the brakes, it's got the headlights, high beams. We have a radio, speakers, interior light. Little storage cubby that's about good for nothing. We have a cigarette lighter. Don't know what that is for, but a lot of it is pretty close to the interior of the Bobcat excavator we have. We got the same radio in that. They are kind of pointless if you ask me, because you have these speakers, but they don't go very loud. So when you have your diesel motor running, you can't hear it anyway. So I really don't understand why they bother putting the radio in. We have our seat belts. Right here we have our throttle, turtle, the rabbit. We have a lever back here, and this controls our dump bed. We have a button here for our windshield wipers. This button right here makes it so it's all-wheel steer. We have our high flow, so if we want to have a higher rate of hydraulic fluid going through our system, we push that. And this right here lets us know is the indicator if we're in 2-wheel steer or 4-wheel steer. We have our little control lever for running our front bucket. These I'm not 100% sure of yet because I haven't had the snowblower hooked up, but a lot of these controls are going to be for running your different implements. So one is probably going to be for like turning the chute of the snowblower and then angling it. We'll see that in a little bit. We have our heat and air conditioning controls, which is going to be nice to have that. And then we have parking brake button, work mode. We can put it on cruise control and we can accel, decel. Our work lights. We can lock our hydraulics, auxiliary hydraulics. We got all of our indicators over here. And then up here we have traction control. We can shut that off. If you are in high, traction control always shuts off. When you're in low, traction control is on. You can shut it off. So you have a high-low range. I don't know what the max speed is in the low range, but in high range, the max speed is 18 miles per hour. This is the button that undoes the handles to hydraulically unlock our bucket or whatever implement we have on. We've got our headlights. the horn works. Let's get this thing fired up. Well, right now it's kind of loud in here. It's not terrible, but I'm definitely, if I'm going to be running this for a while, I'm going to have earplugs in and ear muffs. But so the radio to me is kind of pointless. So one of the things you have to do, this armrest right here, if we don't have that down, we can't do anything. It locks our arm, so I can't move the bucket. I can only like push it down, but I can't pick it up. Forward, reverse, nothing. So if I put this armrest down, so that takes off the parking brake, and it also makes it so you can use your bucket or your front implement. So it's one of those things, if it's not moving, I gotta go, oh yeah, I gotta put my armrest down. So it's a little safety feature. And then right here we have reverse, forward, and then on this side, this button, like this one's the horn, this side puts it into fast mode and takes traction control off. This one has the Doosan motor. It doesn't have the Kubota. I'm pretty sure this is a 65 horse. I don't remember correctly, but it's the same motor they put in the skid steer. And it's the same motor I have in the Bobcat Mini X that we have. So it's kind of cool. We had the dealer go through it and we had them change the motor oil, and they had a broken lug nut on here, or a broken lug stud. So that was replaced. They cleaned up any of the surface rust, painted it, and they went around and they put some of the nasty gross oil all over everything, so that way it doesn't rust. Most of these that I've been seeing are all rotted out. They get used for snow removal, so they'll get the salt all over them. This thing has a little bit of surface rust, but no rot. I thought for sure this thing was going to be rotted out. The cab corners on these are usually all rotted and gone. This one is solid. The engine seems nice and clean. I was really surprised by this. Let's go in the shop. So the shop is a mess right now, but we've had the ToolCat sitting in here for 2 weeks, and there's not a drop of oil. This was from something else, but that's old, but there's no oil marks. This thing's a 2015 with 2,100, almost 2,200 hours on it, and it's not even dripping oil. I am impressed by that. I kind of thought we might be getting ourselves into something that wasn't as good as I was thinking because the price tag they had on it. I don't know why the dealer sold it as cheap as they did. I wanted to ask them why they were selling it so cheap, but I was afraid at the same time, maybe if I said that, they'd mark the price up or they wouldn't give me any more of a discount. I don't know, but I went and I picked up the snowblower from another dealer that sells used equipment, and I was talking to him, and he was pretty surprised on the price. So I don't know what happened, but we got a pretty good deal. So an all-wheel steer, that does a really sharp corner. The inside dimension is maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So that inside radius is 10 feet. That's kind of crazy. So the reason I chose this snowblower over the one that was originally with this ToolCat is this one's, like I said, 72 inches wide. The other one was 60. This one's a 2010, but it's in a lot better condition. The other one was a 2015 snowblower also, but you could tell it had been used and used quite a bit. That's what this machine was used for. So this one looks pretty new, hardly used, but the thing I didn't know is, I don't know if you would have known, but look. So this has an 8-pin plug on it, and it was stored like this in a nice holder. So it looks like a nice factory plug. It's got good wiring, but the ToolCat has a 7-pin plug. So when I went to go hook it up for the first time, I got to looking and somebody has replaced this. So I called the guy I bought it off of, and he said, you know what? I believe it came off of a Caterpillar skid steer. That's what the guy was using it with, so he would have had to change the plug. So I had to order a new harness, which it needed more of it, so I got to go get that. And I had to order one more harness. So I got 2 new harnesses we got to put on today, and I'm hoping that is enough. And what this is going to make operate is it'll spin the chute so you can change the direction, and then you have your little up down hydraulic so you can angle that to know how far you want to blow it. So I'm hoping with the harnesses I got, that'll get everything working.
So even though I told Al he could get a cat because we got cats, I'm pretty excited about this one too. I like that it has a seat for me to go ride in, or Olivia and I go take off, go do something, or Al and Olivia. So I think that's pretty cool.
So I originally had bought this harness, which is the 7-pin harness. Got it, but there's no place to plug this into. So I went on, looked up on the catalog, found this harness. I'm thinking, looking at the wiring diagram, this should do it. So these plugs go on this side, and then the 7-pin harness plugs in here. But I do not see anything for these two. So I'm hoping that this is just for the 7-pin harnesses for any attachment, and that we don't need these because we only have 2 little things we're moving, and that this will take care of all of that. I'm not sure because there's a lot of wires down here just for 2 over here to be working. So I'm thinking we're missing something else, but over here I am not seeing any other wiring harnesses. I'll get this removed and I'll show you. So one of the things that had me fooled when I was looking at this and checking everything over, because I checked over to make sure the wiring was all good, this harness to me looks like a factory harness. I'm wondering if in here, ooh, there is. So yeah, I don't know. There always might be splices that somebody did at some point. Well, we're gonna find out, I guess. So we're gonna go, ooh. Okay, we don't have a green one. Just trying to see which one goes where, because they are all the same. So we have green, orange, blue, and yellow. And I don't have any of those colors. I have red, purple, white, and brown. Bummer.
What does that mean?
Oh, so these got to go in a certain order. So I got, these will all plug into the same, but they might not do the same function. All right, we do have some numbers. Maybe our numbers will line up. Yes, 2720. I saw that one. Let me cut this. All right, so this one, let's see. These are actually chewed up, need to be replaced anyway. So this is 2730. 2720 is right here, is blue. So let's unplug 2720 and find 2720. This one right here says 2720 on the black. Okay, so right here on this black wire it says 2730. I'm going to be looking for that on this side now. I think this one was 2730. Yeah, right there, 2730. So boom. Where was that one? That's 2700. 2730. Okay. This one's 2710. Okay, so then let's see, last one is here. It's the last one, 2700. 2700. Okay, so I feel good about that. All right, so all of those numbers match up. So that's telling me this part of the harness down here is original, and they must have cut and spliced into it up here. So that just has me concerned that I am missing another harness here that this is supposed to plug into. But I don't see where any of those wires would go. That's all I know.
Think all that's different?
Yes, these have 90-degree angles on them. I need to go just straight. So I gotta take these, I gotta get a different fitting. All right, so we gotta get a couple of straight fittings to fix that, but I should be able to try to see if we can move these controls with what we have. And if we can't, then I have to go back online and see if I can order another harness. But I'm not sure what I would need for a harness. So that is one of the reasons why I'm always iffy about buying used equipment, because you got to make sure everything works together. So we got to get new adapters for this end. I think the reason is this came off of a skid steer, so you had a different angle of approach where we just need to go straight, not a 90. We need 2 of those. You got to figure out the wiring harness.
Oh, you got it.
Whew. I'll do them both. Okay, so tan tape has the male end, and the one without tape will have the female end. All right, that should keep the hoses up the highest we can do it, so we're not losing all the hydraulic fluid out. We're not making a mess. Get a little bit here, but that's really not too bad. So luckily our local Napa had the ends we needed. And I was thinking on the ride there, you know what? Let's make sure these plug-ins fit with what the ToolCat has. All right, so male is brown. Let's get that on before we make any more of a mess. Okay, and then here's the female. Clamps, they come in handy for everything. They're just as important as ratchet straps. All right, let's take it outside and see how it goes. That thing is a snow blowing beast. That's really what we got it for. We have a lot of projects to do with it, but that is gonna make moving snow in the wintertime fun. We definitely gotta figure out how to get everything working so we can move the chutes and adjust it, because the way we were doing it, I was kind of like re-snow blowing everything, and then I was having a lot of it come back into the windshield, so terrible visibility. But once we have this up and running, I am excited to get this up to the OGP and stop blowing some snow.